My name's Joan Willie. I'm here at the Department of Aging and Human Services, and today we are going to work a class called Strength Training with Space-Saving Cardio Tips. So we'll get to more of what I'll be doing and how and why in a little bit. But before we get started, what I'd like for you to have handy, first off, clear a space around you. We're going to probably take 4 steps to each side of wherever you will be sitting or standing. And whatever device you're looking at or watching from, I want you to create that space around you so you don't bang into stuff. What you will need is some light weights, especially if you haven't been working out these last couple weeks. 1, 2, 3 pounds maybe. And you might want to do some sets with no weights at all. Ankle weights if you have them. These have Velcro. And I have no idea what the poundage is, but I know it's more than my shoe and my sock. So you would just want an ankle weight. You could use them on your wrists or your ankles. Bottle of water, we all need to hydrate. Make sure not just to carry it around through the day, take sips throughout the day. You'll need a towel if you tend to get a little sweaty. You will not be needing your mask today, so you can put that off to the side, unless you're in a room with strangers doing your exercises. You need a throw pillow, an old bed pillow, something you could squish up. We're going to be putting that between our knees or at our low back for back support. As far as chairs go, sometimes we're going to use a chair for balance, a little extra support. I have a high back chair from my dining room. This works for me. I'm over 5'5", so I need a little bit more height to make sure I'm using good posture, standing tall and uplifted, as opposed to lower when I'd be possibly rounding, hunching more to hold on to the chair. So if you're about 5 foot or under, a card table chair works fine, one with a lower back. If you're taller, drag out the dining room chair as long as it's not too heavy and use it so it's a little better for your height. So if you'd like some music on, that's up to you. I won't be using music today. It'll drown out what I'm trying to get the point across to you. So if you like to use music, go ahead and turn it on, turn it a little low so you can still hear me. I'll try to give some visual cues and some audio cues and demonstrating. So we'll go ahead and get started. Today we're going to go from the feet to the head. So we're just going to try to warm through the joints. Take your feet and lift your heels and then lift your toes. No weights. Loosen the hands. Think about lifting up through the chest. Shoulders are back and down. And you're just rocking your feet like a rocking chair, heel to toe. Try to feel the toes relax, spread out in your shoes. I do suggest you wear shoes and socks because it gives you a little bit more support through the feet and the muscles of the feet and the toes, the ankles. So it does give you some support. Not Crocs, not flip-flops, full-on shoes, okay, if you have them. Turn your toes in, turn your heels in, turn your toes in, turn your heels in. Kind of play with the outside edge of your foot, inside edge of your foot, in and out. Just a few times. We're just awakening the joints, trying to increase the muscle activation, warming them up. Now just kind of keep your ball of your foot and your big toe down, still separating the toes in your shoes. Lift your heel, lower down. Lift your heel, lower down. Just kind of alternating heel lifts. Feel your calves wake up. Just a few each side. Then go ahead and pick your favorite leg and point and flex. And then lower that one down. And your other leg, point and flex. Just alternating in and out. Might feel some crunching and popping in the knee. That's okay, as long as it's not causing pain. Little side to side. Feel that quadriceps and muscles engage. And then switch it out, little side to side. It's like a little windshield wiper. Two more. And then bring that knee in and lift and lift. So your tummy muscles are nice and tight. They're engaged, but you're breathing. So one way to make sure you're breathing, with intention while you exercise is to go ahead and count out loud. And while you're counting, you may notice that I may or may not be equivalent on each side. That's one of my weaknesses, but we'll talk about that later. You can push away and pull back. Push away and pull back. So you're starting to combine a little upper body, lower body. Your abdominals are engaged. Pushing and reaching. Now go ahead and let the feet rest on the floor. Hands to your knees or your thighs. Now round your belly, tuck your back, tuck your chin. You're rounding, everything tucks in, and you're kind of C-shaping that spine. Really feel the curvature through the middle here. Round your shoulders, round your back, reach your arms forward. Now from here, lift and open. So bring your arms wide to the side. Make sure your path is clear. Draw those shoulder blades together. And if it feels good, go ahead and lift your eye gaze up towards the ceiling, towards the sky. Let those shoulders relax. Bring the shoulder blades together. Shoulders are down and relaxed, and those hands are reaching way out to the side. Thumbs are up. Release the arms down and reverse your shoulder rolls. Up, back, and down. Kind of exaggerate every phase of the up, back, and down. We're just lubricating the joints here. We're just trying to awaken the joints, increase the blood flow in the muscles, getting them ready to move. Now from here, lay your ear on one shoulder, right to the side. Try not to tip forward or back. Feel that neck get long, give it time. Let it come on up, nestle right between the shoulders. Take an inhale here, exhale and draw that ear toward the shoulder on the other side. Give it time. Lengthening out. Hands just resting comfortably in your lap. Bring your head back up to the center. Take one arm, reach it up towards the ceiling. Take your time as you rise straight up. Drop your other shoulder down. Inhale as you lift, and then exhale as you reach over to the side. So your bottom stays firm in your seat. You want to look under your arm towards the ceiling on the other side. Feel that more space grow between each and every rib, down into the armpit, up through the length of the arm, right up through the fingertips. Inhale up and exhale that arm down and sweep it around to the opposite knee or thigh. Lengthen your spine and turn and look over your shoulder. Maybe you're not over your shoulder, maybe you're just to that side wall or maybe to the corner across the room. Don't force it, just feel the stretch. You're getting a little bit of twist on the rib cage muscles, all through the back, around to the front. Come on back around to the front, and we'll try that all on the other side. So take your opposite arm out and up, lengthen it, lift it, now reach it over. So make sure you're not falling into where you're leaning, you're lifting tall and then reaching over. Feel the rib cage expand. Turn your head, look under your arm, towards the ceiling, towards the side wall. Inhale up, lift tall towards the ceiling. Take a second there. And then exhale and sweep your hand down to the side and look to that side wall or look behind you, look past the shoulder. And to come out of it, lift up and lift down. Take both hands to the back of your waist, your low back, your sides of your chair, wherever is comfortable. So you're feeling your chest lift right up out of the sternum, Draw your shoulders down and your shoulder blades together. Take an inhale, lift, and exhale down. Now we're going to do a lot of those same things, same moves, with a little quicker pace. So if you want to stay seated, you're welcome to stay seated. I'm probably going to mix it up a little bit with the sit, with the stand. So you're welcome to break it up however you need it. If today is a day you need to sit and do the exercises, that's fine. See, how do I do this with the space-saving cardio tips? The more we use the upper body, the more we're going to increase the heart rate, which gives you that cardio component for your fitness. If you need to bring it down a little bit, you keep the hands below the shoulder. If you want it to go up higher, you take your hands higher. You do both. You might want to alternate, but we're going to get into all the moves as we go. But that's how we can increase the work and not need to go out on the track and run a mile. You don't have to do that to get a good workout. You could use the space that you have and the equipment that you have and your body to do the moves and get a good workout. So we're going to start no weights. And we're going to kind of go back to where we started with the ankles up and down, but this time we're going to move a little faster. So let's take a nice deep cleansing breath first as we inhale the arms up to the side and to the top, and exhale down. Roll your shoulders up, back and down. Now if you need to change the music up, press pause, change the music to something with a livelier beat, because we're going to be moving a little quicker. And please keep in mind you can press pause whenever you want today and join me when you're ready again. We changed that move from the heel toe to the windshield wiper, starting to get the knees coming in and out, feet and knees, in and out. To this, let's add the arms in. You want to open your palms, elbows live right under those shoulders. Open and close the hands, open and close the arms, open and close the feet and the knees. So you're just starting to combine some of the movements, working that brain a little bit. You'll see a little bit later we're going to be making some patterns. So we get the brain firing a little differently. Start to bring one hand on top of the other and then switch it. We're going to change up our feet, keep the hands. So we're going to bring a knee up and bring a knee up. Keep the hands, you're overlapping one over the other, bringing them out to the side. One and the other, out to the side. Your core muscles are nice and tight, and we're lifting a knee and the other knee. Now we're going to leave the legs and change the hands. So leave the legs, tummy muscles are tight, and you're going to start to reach about your head height. Now I have no mirror in here, and maybe you don't either, so you don't know where your head is. It's about there. You have a 90-degree arm with your elbow and your arm and your shoulder, and you're popping and you're cracking, and that's okay. And as you feel a little warmer, you can retire. Please try not to go from a rounded state. You want to go from an uplifted, long spine from your tailbone to the top of your head. So like I said before, we could do one arm at a time, one leg at a time. We're going to stay with one leg, but you might want to take both arms up, and then you would take both. Stay with alternating if that's better for you. Reach up, pull down, reach up, pull down, reach up, pull down. 4 more like this. 2 more. Reach. Last time. Let's stop the arms and the legs. Hands to your thighs, round your back, tuck your tummy, tuck your chin, roll the shoulders. Really scoop in your middle. Round out the back like a turtle shell. Bring your arms forward, tuck your chin, and then open up and back. Let those arms sweep back. Roll the shoulders, reset. Add a little bit of a teeny tiny rotation here. Upper torso twisting and looking down towards your fingers. Your fingers are coming side to side, in front of your knees, beside your thighs. In front of your knees, beside your thighs. kind of creating a little figure 8 now with your arms. And then as you feel ready, if you feel ready, you're making a larger movement. I said earlier, we can make a larger move, create more space, make big moves. That heart rate might be coming up higher. It should be. Breath increasing. Make your figure 8, big move. Controlled. That 8 is laying on its side like an infinity sign. Bring it up, sweep it down. So far we've been doing all this seated. In a little bit we're going to stand, but I want to show you another way. Last 3, and 2, and 1, and hold. Sit tall, turn and look back. This top arm is right in front, it's staying to your thigh or your seat. Take your back arm and reach and look towards your thumb. Take that back arm, sweep it up over your head, look under your armpit, and then sweep it back down. Lift up and down. Last 2. Sweep. Now go ahead and tip your body forward like you're a little teapot. Tip and release. Relax your feet. Last one. Hold the up and over. Inhale up and exhale down. Switch sides. Hands come forward. Swoop them down by your side. Take that back arm, lift your thumb up and look towards your thumb behind you. Feel that chest open out. Take that back arm up overhead, holding the thigh or your chair with the bottom arm. Look underneath your armpit. And lower down. And sweep up and lower down. Stabilizing with that bottom arm across the thigh. Reach and release. Use the breath. Last one up. Hold it. And sweep it down. Unravel. Bring your arms forward and down. Fingertips to the sky and down. So you're bending at the wrist. Shoulders are down and relax. Arms extended, fingertips reach toward the sky and towards the floor. So just bending at the wrist, elbows are as straight as we can get them. Last 2. And last 1. Shake it out, roll through the wrists. Now I told you I'll show you some ways to increase. To increase, we can add the weights seated, or we can stand. So if you're using light hand weights or the Velcro ones are going to wear on your wrist, and the dumbbells you're going to hold with your hands. We won't use the ankle weights yet. If you have 2 sets, then don't use the ankle weights yet. But this would be the progression where we would use the weights with the moves when we were reaching forward and back. You could use the weights. This is a light weight. So you're low weight and you're loaded for your cardio. You're pushing and pulling your arms forward and back. Sitting tall in the seat. That would be the progression from no weights. We're sitting forward in the seat and we're pushing and pulling. Single arm, alternating. Or we can do both arms and pull back. Both arms and pull back. We pushed forward last time and then we went to overhead. We're going to do 4 more of these forward pushes with both at the same time. Here's 2 and here's 1. Bring it on in. Separate your feet a little bit. If you want to stand, stand up. This is the next progression to a standing, and we're going to push our arms forward and back. We'll alternate. So this would be a progression from the seated move with the weight. Check in with your weights. Are you squeezing that weight? I don't want you to squeeze the weight. I want you to squeeze the chest muscles, and I want you to squeeze through the bicep and the triceps, front of the arm, back of the arm as you push and pull. That's a forward. We have 2 more alternating and 1 more alternating. And now we're going to go on up overhead. So take your weight, palm faces in, lifting up and lower down. Now I might be out of the screen with my fingers and maybe part of my hand, but you get the idea that you're alternating your lift up, your core muscles are still engaged, you're pressing up and down. Tummy muscles are tight, knees are soft. So if you say, Joan, I'm not used to standing and doing these, go ahead and sit back down. And if you should ever need to pause the workout, take a rest, take a sip of water, put it back on when you're ready. So this is alternating, and we could go together to increase our heart rate and our workload. So for these overhead presses, it's like you're reaching up into the closet and pulling something down. Hopefully it's not too heavy. We want to be stable, we want to be secure, we want to be safe as we pull down. 2 more, and last one. So with all the variations I'm showing you, we're going to go into bicep curls now. So we're going to have our hands by our side, palms face each other, lift up towards your shoulder, and lower back down. It's sometimes called a hammer curl. So we rise and release. So with all these variations I'm showing you, you could do sets of 12 to 15 as long as you're in good form and you have no pain. That's very important. The pain is the only way the brain has to tell you that, hey, that hurts. So you might need to lose the weights. You might need to slow down. You might need to take a break in between. So you want to think about those carry muscles. Try not to squeeze the weight. You're squeezing the belly of the bicep muscle as you rise and release. Same rules apply. You can alternate if you need to. Knock it down a notch. You want to pick it up a notch. If you want to pick it up more of a notch, go ahead and add some lower body with the upper body by doing a heel lift. As you lift the bicep, lift the weight toward the shoulder, squeezing the bicep, you're lifting your heels off the floor. So rise and release. Can you do this seated? Yes, you can. Seated, you would be doing your bicep curls with your heel lifts and lower. Heel lifts and lower. I'll show you from the side. You're going to lift your heels as you lift your arms, and you lower your heels as your arms come down. Rise and release. Let's do 2 more, whether you're seated or standing. That belly of the bicep should be a little fatigued, so we're going to set the weights to the side just for a second and stretch out where we just moved. Our primary muscle movers are right in through here, front of the arm. Press back, thumbs are up, chest is lifted, and those shoulders are back and down. Shake it out. We're going to go for a little bit of a pattern like I told you earlier. It just makes it fun. Instead of your heel raises, this time try toes in and toes out. Toes out, toes in. So get the legs going. Can you do it standing? It's a little more clumsy, but it can be done. It takes a little more time and intention. So this is a real brain challenger to do in a standing position, heels in and out. Got that? Now we're going to go single, single, double with the arms while we get the feet. All right? So you got your feet out, come up single, single, double. Ah! Single, single, double. And I do this all the time in class, so you know I'm human too. And I'll get you so mixed up you won't know if you're coming or going, but that's what I do, and we have fun doing it. And single, and we double. So as you can tell, if you haven't been thinking in patterns, it's kind of fun to challenge yourself. Get that brain firing in a different way, right? Mix it up. It's fun. If you can't have fun exercising, you must be doing it wrong, right? That's the only thing you could do that would be wrong in one of my classes. You gotta have some fun. And single and both. Does that feel challenging? I hope so, but in a fun way. And both. And down. All right, now let's go to a different muscle group. Because you say, okay, I got my carry muscles. You got to be able to lift the laundry later in the day, maybe a grandchild or two. Roll those shoulders up, back, and down. Open the chest. Now, opposite the biceps, we've got the triceps. I think it's best to show you this one side on. Hand is by your hip, elbow pulls back. You're going to press and pull. Press and pull. Can you do it standing? Yes. Let's do 2 more seated. So that'll be 5, I think. Press and pull. Our wrist is straight. We're going straight back and back in. Stop at your hip bone. Standing up, we would use our chair for support. Kick things out of our way. Put one weight to the seat. Stand tall. I like to split my stance. Press and pull. Press and pull. Spine is long, so just look beyond your seat. These are fun because we have to isolate, doing one side at a time. By doing what we call unilateral work, you find out if you're really weaker on one side than the other, and many of us are. So seated is fine, standing is fine. Soft knees, eye gaze forward, and we just press and pull that arm with the elbow high. Last 2 on this side. Bring it down. Take that arm forward, the one we just worked, and sweep it across your body. Have your shoulders sit down and draw your elbow across your body. So I'm not wearing my shoulder like an earring. It's down and across. So we're kind of getting the back of the shoulder stretched into the mid-back stretched. Shake it out and switch sides. So I'm going to leave that up to you and your space. You can go around your chair. You can just switch sides. You can sit for this one. It's up to you. Long back. My working side foot is back. Does that make sense? Working side foot is back. Hand to hip, press and pull. Spine is long, so I'm watching for spiders or whatever over there on the floor. I don't see any. That's a good sign. Elbow stays high. Long neck. So I don't want you looking at your device. If you're looking at me, you're probably going to have some tension in your traps and in your neck, and that's going to hurt. So take your eye gaze forward and just look to the floor. Try not to look down at your belly button or your foot or your knee. You know where you are. Look out there. That's going to be safer for your head, neck, and shoulders throughout the rest of the workout. So you might be saying, this isn't cardio, this is strength. By having our quicker transitions and challenging yourself, upper body, lower body, and moving at a little quicker pace, it does become within that cardio range. 3, and 2, and 1. Bring it in and lower it down. Put it to your seat. Bring that same arm up, shoulders down, arm comes across the body, and give it a stretch. So how long do we hold our stretches? 15 to 20 seconds. I won't use that much time in your day right here now, but you can press pause, give it a nice stretch. If you're able to bring it up and over your head, that's a nice stretch as long as you keep your back long. And those vertebrae stacked like Legos. Try not to hinge forward or back. We're going to work toward our hip hinge in a second. Shake it out. Now the hip hinge, you do have to do standing. Because seated is going to take you get the move seated, you're going to hinge forward with a long back. But you're not getting as much out of the move as you could if you stood. So here it is, side on seated. Spine is long. We don't want to go like this unless the vertebrae have just made that our normal. As long as you can, you want to stay long and lifted from the tailbone right on through the top of the head. So you're going to stay long. You're going to hold your weights or just your hands in front of your knees They're gonna slide down to maybe mid-shin. Try not to go lower. See how my back rounded? We don't want that. We want nice and long, down and up. So if you must do it seated, this is where you would be. Exhale with the work, inhale up. Exhale down, inhale up. If you must do it seated, that's where you're gonna be. Standing, you wanna go, I'll show you side on. Feet are about hip distance apart or a little wider. Knees are soft, abs are engaged, hands are to the thighs. Slide down the thighs to the bout of the knee and rise up. Press those hips back and rise up. You do not have to use weights. I'm going to put my weights on my seat. Slide my hands down to my thighs and rise up. My knees are softly bent. Keep them bent, press through the floor, squeeze the glutes. Lower and lift. Adding the hand weights or the dumbbells, I'm going to go ahead and pick mine up now. Adding the dumbbells just adds a little more stress. Get the form before you add stress. So we're going to hinge and lift. Hinge and lift. 2 more. This hip hinge is very important when we sit, when we stand, we squat, when we reach. We want to protect our backs. So we want to be able to do this hip hinge properly. Last one down and up. When you come up, roll those shoulders up, back, and down. I'm going to show you the row from here. So I'm going to use no weights first. And my weights are on my chair. To row, we're going to add that hip hinge, hands by the thighs, palms face each other, elbows draw up about hip bone height, and we're going to draw the shoulder blades towards the spine. Lower the hands back to the thighs or the knees, and we rise. So we hip hinge, palms face each other, elbows right up, shoulder blades squeeze, look to the floor, please don't look at me. Lower down and up. So if you need to, pause and watch me a few, and then press go and come with me. So hip hinge, slide the fists down, pull up with the elbows, lower down, rise up. So on a side view, I'll show you in a second. We stand, slight bent knees, rise up. Side view, hip hinge, hands slide down the thighs, palms face each other, elbows pull up and back, hands stop at hip bones, slide down, rise up. So to increase this, say, hey Joan, I know rows, I've been doing it forever. Use your weights, I just got mine from my seat. Palms are facing each other, I'm pulling my elbows high, lowering back down, rising up. Lower, pull, lower, lift. Down, up, down, rise. Come forward, pull the elbows high, lower down, and lift. So every part of the move is intentional. Think of it that way. They're all important. So you don't want to round the corners and skip a move. Use every bit of each one. So to make it a little more fun, we're going to add in a single row and then a double row. Single, single, both. So how do we do that? One arm up to the hip, one hand up to the hip, both hands up to the hip, and down. So you tend to find your weakness in the shoulder blade area. Dominant side wants to help, but now we want to make that weak side stronger. And when we lift that elbow up, we do not turn toward it. So I don't want any rotation with this. You're looking straight towards the floor with your shoulder blades pinched. So we're continuing our single, single, double pattern. See how much more fun that makes it? Single, single, both. And breathe. Notice how we took out the up and both. So we're just staying low in our hip hinge. Our knees are soft, and we took out the coming back to the center, that reset. So now we're just staying on, and as you feel you can, go ahead and bend the knees more and more, and you'll feel your bottom sinking a little. Both and down. Single, single, last time. Both and down. Rise up. Stand tall, roll those shoulders up, back, and down. Let's put the weights to the chair. Press your arms away, tuck your chin, push your hands away. Feel that stretch through the mid-back, and then sweep it down by your side. Kind of walk your feet out a little bit. Walking out a little march. Shake out your arms. One more little upper body thing, and then we're going to go into some more lower body. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. From here, let's take one arm. We're going to go middle, elbow to about shoulder height. Then we're going to take it high. We're going to take it middle. We're going to take it low. So to this, you can keep your march high, middle, and low with that left arm. Maybe it's your right arm. One of your arms. Elbow bump. Put as much feeling and emotion in as you can. Down, up, over, down, left, out, down, up, over, down. That's a single arm. And I think we did about 5. Shake it out that side, switch it up. Other arm up, right arm is out, about shoulder height. Elbow bump middle, elbow bump high, elbow bump middle, elbow bump low. Then start to add in. Feel your heart rate coming up? Hope so. Without the music to drown out my breathing, you can hear me. High, middle, and low. Mix it up if you want. We're not going to do the chicken dance, but we're going to go both. Middle, low. Up, center, and low. Up, center, low. Sort of like a brief row. High, middle, and low. No weights. You could use very light weights if you wanted. Up, out, low. Now from here, shake it out. Now we're going to use ankle weights if you want. Have a seat real quick. Move your hand weights to the floor to the side. Strap on your ankle weights from a safe seated position. Get a sip of water if you need. I need. Set your water off to the side so we don't trip on it, because remember I said we were going to go to the side 4 steps, to the back 4 steps. And we want to be able to have room. So from here we've got our ankle weights strapped on nice and tight. I'm going to have my hand weights handy because I'm not sure I'm going to need them today. I'm not entirely sure how I'm feeling. And you don't know what I'm going to say next, so have yours handy. If you want them, they're there. And if you don't need them, you don't need them. Marching your feet like we were, up and down. Try not to stomp. That makes an awful lot of stress on your knees and your ankles. Quietly. There you go. That's what I like to hear. Nothing. From here, we're going to take 4 steps to each side. So take them small first. Make sure you got the room. 2, 3, 4. 4, 3, 2, 1. So we got the ankle weights on. Start to increase your range of motion with your upper body. If you want, you could get back into those bumps. We're just doing both at the same time. You say, Joan, forget about the bumps. I'm just going to stay here. That's okay too. You're getting your side stepping in. Side to side to side. What are your feet doing? Are they winging out? Do you have one winger and one straight? Try to get them both straight. Just look down real quick and then pick your head back up to the top. You don't have to watch me, but you do have to keep your shoulders stacked over your hips, because you're not going to be like this. I don't want any attitude. Shoulders stay right over those hips, side to side. That's the way. Forward and back of the arms, just like we started. You've seen this before. You can go both if you're feeling it. You say, hey, Joan, when are you going to start the workout? I need my weights. Go ahead and get them. This is what I said, low and loaded. Go ahead and pick up your weights carefully. Back into your march. Remember I said you could pause whenever you're ready. You got your march going? Let's start going to the other way, just for a little variety. Forward, back, side to side. 4, 3, 2, 1. Both arms, toes forward. We're going to change it up a little bit with these toes. Knees are bent, tailbones tucked under, abs are engaged, shoulders are down, and we're moving. That's the way. 3, 2. Now to have a little bit of giggles, bring your heels in, bend your knees, keep your shoulders over your hips, and we're moving. 4, 3, 2, 1. One more this way with your heels in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it in, march it out. From here, keep your legs moving nice and slow. So they slowed the march. You slowed your hands. Now we're going to go a little more shoulder work, but a higher, slower knee lift. So knee is coming up forward, ankle lives right underneath that knee. So it's a slow lift. To that we're going to add an arm. The leg that goes up, that arm goes up in a backwards L. You don't have to hold, but I do want you to pause. Pause. And you say, I have not done any balance work in a while. I get myself in and out and around town, but I'm not really doing balance. Keep your toe to the floor. Lift your heel, lift your elbow. Lift your heel, lift your elbow. Arm looks like an L and a backwards L for you. So your fist is forward, heel's coming up. If you're okay with that knee up, pause it and down. You say, well, I would be okay on one side if I had my chair for a little balance. One finger on the chair and stay to one side for that shoulder, and you could catch it up later. Now maybe today's the first time you're watching this and you just need to watch it first and see what works best for you. That would be totally fine. Watch it first, see what works best for you. About halfway through, or when you feel that you're done with one side, switch it up. Get your chair, bring your knee up, bring your knee up. That's why I don't use cups of water, because sometimes I spill. So always have a lid on. Up and down. One finger is all you may need for balance and support. From here, we're just going to do some hamstring curls for the legs. I'm going to go ahead and put my weights to the chair. We've worked a lot of the quadriceps already. We're going to work the back of the thigh. Make sure you've got room around you. Squeeze that leg and lower down. Squeeze and lower. So your body's tall. Your heel's coming towards the back of your thigh. You may or may not have that ankle weight on. Last 2. And 1. And that second side. Shift your body weight. Heel rises up, lower down. Very intentional with the move as you lift and lower. You can pause at the top or not. Just don't fire through rapidly. We really want to feel the squeeze and the release of these large muscles. 2 more. And then come on down, shift your weight. Go ahead and put your ankle weights to the floor. You can unstrap your ankle weights later or not. We brought our pillow out for a reason. We're going to take it now and squish it right between both thighs. Ankle weights are just there now. They're not really adding anything. We're going to take that pillow and gently squeeze so we're feeling some more through the inner thighs. So what we've tried to do today is work the leg in every direction. So we're trying to work those large muscles that carry us around through the day. Squeeze and try to build some strength there in the lower body. Upper body's relaxed. Squeeze and pause and lower down. So it's not like you're trying to flatten the pillow, but you are trying to feel these muscles engage into the inner thigh. So hopefully today you feel energized and refreshed by your work, not exhausted like you need a nap, but we wanted to do a nice full body, head to toe, loosening up. Last two with the inner thigh squeeze. And last one. In that blood flow. We took our stretch when we began from feet to head. A nice way to undo it all again is to go from top to bottom. Take those ankle weights off while you're low. Do a nice full body stretch from head to toe. Inhale the arms up. And exhale, sweep them wide and down. Notice if you have a more range of motion now as you drop your ear toward your shoulder. Look up towards the ceiling. Let your head nestle back in the middle. Other side, ear to the shoulder. Take the eye gaze up if it feels good. Lift up. Roll those shoulders up, back and down. Take your hands by your sides of your thighs in front. Make your figure 8. Sweep it around. Get a little bit of rotation. Core is still engaged. Feels more loose, more friendly now, doesn't it? Hopefully that's a yes. Last one to each side. Sweep it down and hold. Lift. Sweep it around to the other side. Hands come forward to the knees. Sweep it around. Scooch forward in your chair a little bit, but stay on. Inhale, lift, extending the leg. Exhale as you reach forward. Chest is open, shoulders are down and back. Heels down, toes up. Feel that rubber band stretch behind your thigh. Into the calf, right out through the big toe. And switch. Leg comes in, other leg out. Inhale up. Exhale forward. Feel the back of the thigh, back of the calf, into the heel, right on up to the big toe. Bring it back in. Turn your toes in. Turn your heels in. Take one more, feet straight on. Inhale up. Exhale out. Hopefully you had a good time today, had a little fun, made a little challenge. Round your back, tuck your belly, tuck your chin. Lift and open out. Don't forget to take your sips of water throughout the day. See you next time.